Oh my god! I'm back. Top 10 terrifying places in Texas you should never visit. Part 4. Let's go, man. We did part 3 a couple days ago.
You probably already know that Texas is chocked full of some of the most haunted places in America. From old hotels to abandoned asylums, there is no match for the haunted places scattered across the state. And if you don't believe me yet, then just wait till I give you the 4th edition of the top 10 terrifying places in Texas you should never visit. Starting us off at number 10, the Elder Street Artist Lofts. Formerly a hospital, it's no surprise to anyone that these lofts are believed to be one of the most haunted locations in Houston, Texas. But it's not for the reason you may think. While of course many died in the hospital during its operation, as is totally normal, the paranormal experiences have to do with the fact that the hospital was built over a cemetery where roughly 3,000 Civil War and yellow fever victims were buried, along with countless...
Bro, red flag. Never ever build anything over an old grave site. That place will automatically be haunted.
And isn't that just a recipe for disaster? At the time of construction, there was a ton of controversy as people were understandably concerned about building on top of a cemetery. So to ease the town, they built the basement above ground and left the graves undisturbed. Apparently, many graves were actually relocated as well, but there was no formal sweep for remains, so who knows what was left behind. As many in the town predicted, their efforts to build on top of dead bodies did not evade the inevitable spirits from rising into the building. And over the years, many have reported sightings of strange, shadowy figures and feelings of being watched, only to see that no one is there. Now, many actually live in these apartments today, but let me tell you, I don't care how nice these lofts are, you couldn't pay me to live in a building where ghosts were known to roam around the halls. Next up at number 9, Al Engineering Building. Back in 1959, a man named Roy Sims, who was an instructor at the university, made a grave mistake that changed his life forever. Back then, it was known as the Animal Industries Building and was home to the meat locker where students would learn how to properly butcher animals.
Hold on, wait. Hold on, wait a minute.
A man named Roy Sims, who was an instructor at the university, made a great...
Oh, didn't they put this one in the video before?
Next up at number 9, Al Engineering Building. Back in 1959, a man named Roy Sims, who was an instructor at the university, made a grave mistake that changed his life forever. Back then, it was known as the Animal Industries Building and was...
Hey, but why this dude right here, where I'm sitting is he on the far right, so when y'all watch, he might be on the left, but it's probably still on the same side. Why you kind of like Paul Gasol, bro?
To the meat locker where students would learn how to properly butcher animals. Now, this particular day, Roy went down into the basement where the meat locker was to get some work done alone. Once down there, he started carving up a pig for some bacon when suddenly the knife in his hand slipped and punctured his thigh right in his femoral artery. Alone and bleeding out, some say he dragged himself across the floor towards the elevator before he died, leaving a long trail of blood behind him. It's believed that he haunts the building to this day, with reports of people hearing strange noises and screams coming from the basement. Some have even seen apparitions or strange objects moving along the wall, and sometimes even finding unexplained dark stains on the floor of the building. Believe it or not, some janitors have even requested to be reassigned to different areas of the building out of fear for the terrifying things they've witnessed. So enter if you dare, as the basement continues to haunt all that dare to try. Next up at number 8, the Millermore Mansion. Once home to wealthy plantation owners in 1861, this Dallas mansion saw more death.
Whoa, where's that so I don't go?
Next up at number 8, the Millermore Mansion. Once home to wealthy plantation owners in 1861, this Dallas mansion saw more death in its lifetime than you can imagine. The mansion was owned by one William Brown Miller, and while living there, he married, divorced, and then remarried another 3 times. Sadly, 2 of Miller's wives died tragically. His second wife, Minerva, died of an unknown illness, and Emma died while in childbirth. It seems that these souls, among many others, never left the mansion and can be found terrifying all who dare to visit. Guests and staff have reported feelings of being watched in the master bedroom and strange sudden drops in temperature even in the hot summer months. Visitors say they can hear babies' screams coming from the nursery and the sound of a
This is scary.
Here's one thing you need to do before you start your holiday shopping.
Scary.
Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this.
crib being dragged into the master bedroom. But like magic, once the crib reaches the master, suddenly the baby's cries stop immediately. And if that wasn't enough to spook you, there have been countless reports of crows flying into the glass of windows, only to find ghostly appearance of a face appear. Could it be the ghost of Emma trying to care for her baby they hear? You certainly won't see me sticking around long enough to find out. Next up at number 7, the White Sanitarium. Located in Wichita Falls, the White Sanitarium, also commonly known as the Old Insane Asylum, opened in 1926 under the direction of Frank White, but became abandoned sometime in the 1950s. Now, I don't know about you, but the idea of a haunted, abandoned asylum just sounds like the start of a horror movie. I mean, it's not like the people that were sent off to live in asylums have great quality of life, and if they died there, I'm sure they had a vengeance. It is rumored that very strange experiments were conducted in the asylum, which many believe to be the root cause of the hauntings, as they believe these procedures killed many of the patients. Visitors and passers-by have reported hearing children screaming from the building, mysterious lights turning on when there was no electricity connected to the building, and a strange woman in white roaming the grounds and peering through windows, watching all that dare to walk past. Coming in at number 6, Presidio La Bahia. If there is one place that you can certainly guarantee will be haunted by spirits, it's a battlefield. In 1747, the fortress known as Presidio La Bahia was built near the San Antonio River and would later become the infamous place of revolutionary conflicts like the Battle of Goliad and the Goliad Massacre. As you can imagine, many soldiers died on these grounds, so it's not hard to imagine how it got its reputation as a terrifying haunted fortress. During the Goliad Massacre in 1836, 341 Texan troopers were executed by the Mexican army, and it's believed that it's these soldiers that died in battle that can be heard crying out in terror as you walk the grounds today. Visitors have reported full body apparitions all around the property, as well as hearing strange conversations in Spanish coming from thin air. The strange wailing has been caught on audio recording, and that is enough for me to want to leave this place alone for good. The last thing I need is to be haunted by a revolutionary soldier. Coming in at number 5, the Emily Morgan Hotel. Built in 1924 in San Antonio, Texas, the building was originally designed to be a medical arts building. Complete with a crematorium and morgue, it was known to house hundreds of doctors and was considered one of the best hospitals.
I told y'all, any old school hospital is automatically haunted, bro.
1976 and became an office building.
Once you tell me, oh yeah, well this hospital was built in 17, haunted. That's all I'm gonna say. Haunted.
Just 10 years later, a hotel. Today, those who work at the hotel tell frequent stories of the terrifying encounters they've had, specifically in the basement. What is now the basement of the hotel was the crematorium and morgue in its days as a hospital.
Any old school hotel is also haunted too. Oh, well, this hotel was built in 18 haunted.
Whoever was left in that morgue all those years ago is not yet finished with that building or anyone who dares enter. Employees claim to have seen orbs, heard screams, and been greeted by the smell of burning flesh. But it's not just the basement that will leave you running for the hills.
I couldn't even imagine what burning flesh smell like, and I wouldn't want to know.
To have have its fair share of scary spectacles.
Smell like that in
Allegedly
Neverleaf.
haunted by the ghost of a bride, no one knows what her connection is to the building, but many have come into contact with her. Guests have been known to check out in the middle of the night after hearing blood-curdling screams and seeing her reflection in the mirror. And most frightening of all is that some say they've actually seen her walk through walls. So save yourself the sleepless nights and trauma and
No.
just book a different hotel if
Exactly,
you ever
bro.
plan to visit San Antonio. Coming in at number 4, the Magnolia Hotel. Back in 1840, a Texas Ranger named James Campbell
There's all these
built
hotels
a
and
log
hospitals,
cabin
man.
that later expanded into a hotel. Now, this little hotel turned out to be a fairly successful little business right up until the early 1900s. But that is where the story gets dark. Most are not surprised by the haunting of the building, as not long after the log cabin was built, Campbell, the ranger who built it, was killed, leaving the property completely abandoned. With no one to oversee the property, who knows what shady people made their way in? Or worse, who didn't make it out? When it was purchased in 2013 by a couple looking to bring the building back to life, it did not take them long to figure out that this place was horrifyingly haunted. The couple said they began experiencing supernatural events as soon as repairs commenced and claimed to have heard doors slamming out of nowhere, witnessing shadowy outlines hovering in doorways,
That shit.
and even have photos showing strange figures
Told you, any old school painting, haunted. Any old hotel, haunted. Any old hospital, haunted. Once you hear doors slam and all this shit that don't make sense, it's time to go. It's time to not sit here and plot and think, what should we do? Oh, what should we do, Dave? Oh, like, no, it's time to go.
climbing out of mirrors. Ugh. Since its doors open to the public, visitors from all around the world have experienced the same strange paranormal occurrences. And there have been hundreds of accounts from people saying they saw furniture move on its own and hearing strange voices when no one was around. To date, Magnolia Hotel is known to be haunted by at least 13 different spirits, but those are just the ones they've found. The real number is assumed to be much higher. Next up at number 3, Littlefield House. Although the outside may look like a beautiful fairy castle, don't let that fool you. Located in Austin, the Littlefield House is a terrifying mansion said to be
Oh
haunted
yeah,
by
also, any old school mansion, haunted.
Alice Littlefield, the former mistress of the house. As legend goes, Alice and George Littlefield were a beloved couple throughout all of Austin. They couldn't have their own children, but cared deeply for their nieces and nephews and paid for all 29 of them to go to university. But not all was so perfect behind closed doors. When George would leave the house to run errands, he would lock Alice in the attic, fearing she would be kidnapped in his absence and wanting to keep her safe. Well,
He kept her inside, locked her inside the attic in fear of her being kidnapped. Who was gonna kidnap her though? Like, who was planning on to do that?
naturally, as being locked in an attic does to a person, she began to become hysterical, and her fear of being kidnapped and killed that was instilled by her husband slowly started to drive her mad. George then died before Alice, and it seems she slipped further into hysteria until her own death. Now Alice is known to haunt the mansion, where inexplicable sounds and shrieks can be heard echoing through the house, along with stomping feet darting up and down the stairs. If you listen closely, you just might hear her playing the piano, waiting for her husband to return. Coming in at number 2, the DeSoto Hotel. Located in El Paso, the DeSoto Hotel has been the subject for many paranormal investigations through the years. The hotel has been around for over 100 years, and if you ask
Already
the
told you.
locals, they prefer not to speak of it, as many get the creeps just by thinking about it. There are 3 spirits that are known to haunt the halls of the DeSoto Hotel, and investigators have captured some truly creepy evidence over the years. One of the spirits, known as the shadow in the doorway, has been captured on video lurking in the hotel's abandoned hallways, while another spirit, who's been named Sarah, is known to creepily laugh and giggle as you walk through the building. But the one you need to be afraid of is the spirit that lives in the basement. It seems like nothing good ever happens in old creepy basements, and the DeSoto Hotel
New fact. Any old school basement haunted.
is no different.
Attics
Rumored
too.
to have
Most
been used for
attics probably
satanic
more.
rituals in its early days as a hotel, whatever is down there does not want you to visit. While
Hold
some
on,
believe
whoa,
the
what you mean
entity to be
610?
a
Whoa.
restless spirit incapable of controlling their anger, some are convinced it's a demon. Employees and investigators have reported being pinched, growled at, scratched, hit, and even bitten by whatever is down there, and investigators have even captured what sounds like a demon answering questions on an EVP. Let's just hope that whatever is down there stays in the basement and doesn't start wandering through the rest of the building. Who knows what dangers could happen then? And coming in at number 1.
Let me make sure what that place is called. Where's like the location of that place?
At number 2, the DeSoto Hotel, located in El Paso.
Yeah.
And coming in at number 1, the Old Park Hotel. Built back in 1886 as a lodging for cowboys in the Ballinger area, the Old Park Hotel has had a wide variety of purposes over the years, including a schoolhouse, a courthouse, and most famously, a brothel. Now a B&B and antique store you can go and see for yourself, but visitors beware, as the previous owner has reportedly identified 30 different entities present in the hotel, and it's no doubt that you'll start to experience strange paranormal sensations as soon as you enter. Patrons have reported having
hell no.
higher
Any doll, old school doll, is fucking haunted. I don't care if you just made it. Oh, it was made, it was never bet no haunted.
Stations with women in costume who they believe to be staff.
And who sleeps in a room with an old school doll? Who does something like that? I don't care if it's a part of design, comforting. This first is not comforting, and it's not a good design model they have. Who sleeps with old school dolls in a room? That's like creepy as shit.
To disappear suddenly without a trace. But the worst and most scary is the spirit of the cowboy. Known to be a very angry spirit, the cowboy has been witnessed by countless guests as well as caught on camera, standing menacingly in the doorway holding what appears to be a pistol. But that's not all. One paranormal investigator looking for more information on the cowboy came by and left a piece of equipment in the room to monitor the spirit. He left to go downstairs to monitor, but when he heard a large crash from upstairs, he rushed back up, only to find it completely smashed and destroyed all over the floor. Not only that, but there have been many accounts of people feeling touched or tugged or even being pushed down the stairs when no one was around them. In fact, some investigators have been so traumatized that they've checked out in the middle of the night, never to return again. Now, if a spirit can scare an investigator, then that's all the convincing I need to stay as far away as possible. And there you have it. There are the scary places you do not want to visit in Texas. I'm Kennedy, and I'll see you next time.
Shout out them, but I told y'all.